Dragon Ball Daima brought us several important pieces of information about the Dragon Ball lore, even complementing many things we've already seen in Dragon Ball Super. On the other hand, this anime also seems to have introduced numerous contradictions regarding Dragon Ball Super, as many events and statements in this new anime appear to conflict with what we previously saw in DBS. Does Dragon Ball Daima really have so many plot holes? What are they, and how can they be explained? In this video, I'll help resolve one of these issues with you. Although it provides a lot of new information about the franchise's lore, Dragon Ball Daima also raises many questions, especially concerning the coherence of its plot and the events of the story. One of the questions this anime raises is about the situation of Kibitoshin in Dragon Ball Super, since we saw at the beginning of DBS that the fusion still existed, while at the start of Daima it was undone, and the explanation for the fusion being undone is different in both stories. After all, why didn't Kibitoshin use Majin Buu to undo the fusion in Dragon Ball Super? This is a complicated question. Another thing that needs clarification is why Vegeta didn't use the new transformation he showcases in this anime against Beerus. Among these somewhat contradictory issues is the entire subject involving the Super Majin Rimus and the creation of the universes. We discover in Dragon Ball Daima that the creation of all the universes originated from the demon realm. In the demon realm, there was a very ambitious king who wanted to expand his domains greatly. During this same period, there was a being known as a Super Mage, and due to his immense power, his name was Rimus. The demon king ordered the Super Majin named Rimus to create the universes, and so Rimus did, using his vast power. When Shin mentions Rimus, he describes this Super Majin as a sort of supreme god, someone above everything and everyone. But we already know of such a god in Dragon Ball Super, and that's Zeno. So, who is the supreme god? Rimus or Zeno? I know you might say that Rimus simply died, and now the supreme god is Zeno, but the issue is more complicated than that. That said, I analyzed some things, and I think we can come to a solid answer for this. Before we continue, make sure to like the video to support us, and also subscribe to the channel to stay updated on all things involving Dragon Ball. Done that? Great, let's move on. We're all pretty familiar with how the divine hierarchy in Dragon Ball works, right? At the lowest level, we have the local gods, like Earth's guardian, who oversee their respective planets. Above these local gods, we have the galaxy's guardians, the Kais, who are the watchers of the universe. There are 4 Kais who watch over the cardinal points of the universe, and all of them are overseen by the Grand Kai. Above the Kais, there are the Supreme Kais. In Dragon Ball Z, we saw that there were 5 Supreme Kais, but in DBS, we learned that this was an anomaly of Universe 7 and that there is actually only 1 Supreme Kai per universe. On one side, we have the Supreme Kai, responsible for maintaining the universe's balance by creating and overseeing the Kais. On the other side, we have the God of Destruction, who ensures balance by destroying things that hinder the universe's development. The gods of destruction are far more powerful than the Supreme Kais, but despite this, their importance within the universe is equal. Although opposites, they are 2 sides of the same coin. In fact, to maintain equality between these gods, their lives are linked. If one dies, the other also perishes. I believe the main reason for this is to prevent the gods of destruction from killing the Supreme Kais to gain total control of the universe. So, to avoid this kind of scenario, and to ensure the destroyers don't use their superior power to subjugate the Kais, this life-sharing system was established. Another important detail to mention is that each god of destruction has an angel as an assistant and mentor. This point is crucial for understanding what's stated in Dragon Ball Daima. The angels are responsible for training, advising, and even granting the wishes of the gods of destruction. However, they also act as supervisors. If the gods misbehave, the angels report them to the Grand Priest and Zeno. Now, if we take a closer look, we'll notice something. Until now, Zeno has been portrayed in Dragon Ball Super as a sort of absolute god who single-handedly governs the multiverse. However, in Dragon Ball Daima, Rimus is also depicted as an absolute god. But if we carefully analyze the characteristics, powers, and roles of these two, we'll realize that In reality, there are two supreme gods in the Dragon Ball multiverse. If we look closely, Zeno isn't that different from a god of destruction. Think with me. The primary power of a god of destruction is Hakai, a technique that allows them to destroy almost anything. The main ability of Zeno is to erase basically anything he wants. Zeno's power isn't all that different from the power of a Hakashin. The only difference is that Zeno's power is far more advanced, but in practice, it works in almost the same way. Another thing Zeno has in common with the Hakashins is that he is also assisted by an angel. The difference is that the angel who advises Zeno is Daishinkan, the angel who stands above all other angels. For a long time, many people thought Zeno could not only destroy things, but also create them. However, if we look closely, during the construction of the Tournament of Power Arena, Zeno didn't do anything but sleep. Thinking about it, Zeno was extremely eager to see the tournament happen. If he had the ability to create things, he would certainly have created the arena as quickly as possible to get the tournament underway. Looking at this, we can conclude that Zeno only possesses the power of destruction, not creation. This makes a lot of sense in light of the information from Dragon Ball Daima, where it is revealed that the universes were created by someone else. And if we pay attention to what has been said about Rimus so far, he has many functions similar to those of the Supreme Kais. For starters, Rimus created the universes, and one of the Supreme Kai's functions is to create things. Another function of the Supreme Kais is to oversee the Kais, maintaining better organization within the universes. In the same way, Rimus selected the Glynes to be Supreme Kais precisely to keep things organized. He seemed to be the ultimate authority supervising the Supreme Kais. Thus, the information in Dragon Ball Super about Zeno being a supreme god isn't contradictory to the information in Dragon Ball Daima about Rimus being a supreme god. Both are supreme gods who coexist. And I know many people might argue that this is contradictory since in Dragon Ball Daima, Zeno undoubtedly already existed, given that the anime takes place just a few years before Super, yet Shin doesn't mention Zeno. But if we carefully examine episodes 41 and 42 of Dragon Ball Super, we see that Shin didn't know about Zeno.
Great ancestor, should I know who that childlike creature is?
Don't you know anything?
In other words, it makes perfect sense that he didn't mention Zeno in Dragon Ball Daima. This supports the idea that Rimus was the superior authority over the Kaioshins, while Zeno is the superior authority over the Hakaishins. Shin seemed to know a lot about Rimus and the creation of the universes, showing significant respect for this god, but he knew nothing about Zeno or how he destroys universes. On the other hand, Beerus and Champa knew very well who Zeno was and greatly feared him. Essentially, Zeno's role is to supervise the gods of destruction and carry out large-scale destruction across the multiverse, assisted and served by Daishinkan. Meanwhile, Rimus's role is to oversee the Supreme Kais and likely handle large-scale creation. We see that Zeno is entirely indifferent to destroying things. In the past, he destroyed 6 universes, and during the Tournament of Power, he wiped out several others without hesitation. Thinking about it, this doesn't make much sense. If Zeno keeps destroying things like this, there will eventually be nothing left. However, if there's a supreme creator, just as Zeno can effortlessly destroy multiple universes at once, this creator can create new things, thus always maintaining balance. And in the same way that the lives of the gods of destruction and the Supreme Kais are connected, Zeno and Rimus's lives might also be intertwined. This would preserve balance across the multiverse. So what do you all think? Do you agree that Rimus is a kind of supreme god of creation while Zeno is a supreme god of destruction and both are the ultimate authorities in the multiverse? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with a fellow Dragon Ball fan. See you next time. Bye!